hope you guys can leave going, man, I know what my goals are now. Okay, and I've got a little bit of a plan to get there. What we're trying to do is look for 1 or 2 action steps you can learn today and just put into your business tomorrow. Okay, so what are the 5 ways that viral PR will help your business? 1, you will have to develop your purple cow. Has anybody ever heard of the concept of the purple cow before? Basically, if you're driving down the road and you see a bunch of cows, you'll probably never go, honey, you wouldn't believe it, I was in Iowa and I saw a bunch of cows. You know, I grew up in Minnesota, so we saw a lot of cows. I never went home and said, oh, my dad, there was a cow. I never did that, right? But if somebody painted one of those cows purple, I guarantee you, people would stop and pull over, somebody else would stop and pull over. Pretty soon there's like a traffic jam. Have you ever seen that where there's like a minor vendor and then all traffic stops to kind of look at it? Okay, the purple cow is, so for your business, what is that remarkable something that you do that makes you remarkable? Now I'm going to give you some words you can't use here, okay? Some words you can't use. You can't use professional. And you can't use quality. Okay? Can't use those words. You can't say I'm the most professional or we're the most quality. What do you do that makes you different? Now, I know you're in a group here where we're all trying to help each other, but we're all also kind of competitive, so I don't want to, like you have to share your one tip. But I'll give you an example. What is your differentiator? What is the thing you do? The one thing you do. The second thing is you're going to have to, this will help you convert your website clicks into cash. Does anybody ever look at your analytics on your site and look at it and go, man, there's a lot of people that go on there. Where are they going? Has anybody ever done that before? Anybody looked at those? Can anybody share with me maybe a humbling thing you noticed when you looked at your analytics for the first time? Anybody here want to share just for the others who haven't? Yes, sir.
They don't go to all the pages, so about 1/3 of what you have they never even see.
Okay, so what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to draw a diagram for you over here, and I'd like for everybody to kind of jot this down because this is awesome what you said, but I wanted someone else to say it first, so that way you don't, mentally argue with me before I start this, okay? But here's, you guys, how many people here manage more than 5 people? Okay. You're all alphas, you're all weird. You guys are like the producers, you're those weird people that pay taxes, okay? You're that weird half, okay? So you can't, your opinion doesn't necessarily matter on this, okay? How many people sell to bureaucrats though, government people? Okay. How many people sell to consumers, just everyday consumers? Okay. So when you go to the website, here's what we have, okay? Does anybody here have a newspaper with you today? A newspaper, USA Today on here or something? Well, what happens is when we get the newspaper every day, let me give you an example here. Okay, when we get the newspaper, if you're on the cover, when you go downstairs, they have USA Today laid out like this, and they have it laid out, okay? And it says USA Today across the top. How many of you flip it over just to see what's on the bottom part and then put it back? You do. Anybody else? Okay? And it's not to say that some people no one will. It's just it's not as many people, right? So usually if you're on the cover of USA Today and you're on the top cover, almost everyone in the city of New York or Tulsa or wherever you're at will know who you are. But if you're on the bottom, it's like 10% is effective. You know what I mean? So the big thing of PR is you always want to get people above the fold. Okay? Well, on your website, if you track analytics, one of the disturbing things, and you guys can look it up, and there's all sorts of stats that are going to show you, but we're just going to give you a pig-headed statement that you can kind of chew on here, okay? Up here, people only do 3 things, right? So this is the top part of your site. This is they can't see this unless they scroll down. Does that make sense? They can't see this unless they scroll down. All people look for is pics, they look for video, and they look for PR. And they will not read words. Now, I'm a reader, so I get so frustrated with this. So people don't read. Why don't people read? Because when people are on the website, you have 7 seconds. Okay? And you guys can research stuff. There's Stanford studies that are out there. There's unbelievable studies you can find. But they find that people spend 7 seconds on the site. So in the first 7 seconds, we've got to give them some ammo. We've got to give them some pics. We've got to give them some video, and we've got to give them some PR. Okay? So I'm just going to show you how I structure sites for clients that I work for, and then you guys can kind of find your own way. But one is if you go to, anybody here, any women here go to Macy's recently? Macy's? Express? Any kind of retail store recently? No. Yes. Where did you go? You go to the mall sometimes ever? Come here, ever go to the mall? We avoid the mall? You go to the mall sometimes? Okay, when you go to the mall, just an example, very few people who are in these ads here at the mall are real customers. Why? Because I would have to be photoshopped about 12 times before I would qualify to be in the picture. These are extremely beautiful people that we put on here. Why is that? Anybody? I mean, what if they put a picture of me in a Gap commercial? Their sales would go down tremendously. If they put me in like a Dick's Sport, like Under Armour, here's the guy who's kind of in shape, they're not gonna, I mean, it wouldn't work. So you have to put aspirational, so I'm gonna write here, aspirational photos. And I'm sorry I write hieroglyphics. Aspirational photos, okay? Aspirational. Okay? So in the photos, a real quick self-audit. When you go back home, look at your site and go, because if they're not aspirational, what happens is they're demotivational. I know it's terrible, but it's just how marketing works. Okay? So make sure on your site there's people that people want to be like. You know what I'm talking about, where you click on it and there's like this guy just having a good old time with an ID badge. You know, he's just having fun. You know what I'm saying? Just find your own balance with that. But I mean, it's hilarious to me. At Pottery Barn, there's people, I don't even know what product they're advertising. You seen the Pottery Barn ads? And there's people just walking like, and I'm like, what are they doing? They're walking, her hair's blowing in the wind. What? You can't even tell what it's for. Like a beer commercial. What's that for? What are we talking about here? You know? We're kind of a bland tasting beverage, you know, and we have people just jumping around having a good old time. You know what I'm saying? So what we have to do is have aspirational pics. Now in the video, you don't want to go more than 30 seconds if at all possible, okay? And you want to just build the curiosity. That's all you want to do. So example, do you want to buy, or is your company as secure as it could be? Are you worried about threats? Are you worried about liability? Use who the pros use, the folks at such and such, right? All we're trying to do is get them to call you. Does that make sense? We just want them to call you. We don't want them to actually like go, holy crap, $19.99, I'll buy now. Now how many of you feel like that in your industry, more and more people keep trying to sell on price, which is killing the value? Have you seen anybody just putting the lowest price on the website possible? Sure. I don't want to incite violence in this meeting, but you know what I'm saying?
Big problem.
Okay, big problem. Big problem. I know in the wedding industry it's that way, right? One DJ, we all have speakers, sound, lights, entertainment, you know? And so some guy's like, starting $599, get your entertainment. So the next guy's like, starting at $550, $540, $530, you know what I mean? Now meanwhile, we don't put our prices and we charge about $1,200. Why? Because we're putting Chuck Norris, I mean, it's just, it gets that call, okay? So the next thing is with PR, people want to do what other people are doing. And I'm going to give you a story on this that's kind of crazy. My friend Arthur Greeno owns the Chick-fil-A's, and we were at a movie, and the fire alarm went off because some punk, you know, pulled the fire alarm or whatever. And so we're sitting there like most adults, and it's meh, meh. We're still trying to like watch the movie, hoping against hope that it'll just turn off the alarm and we can keep watching. And then finally, some guy's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, you have to leave the room. We have a fire emergency." You know, we're like, "Oh crap!" So we all leave. We all have babysitters for our kids, and we're all frustrated that our movie night's been killed. You know, so we're walking out there kind of disgruntled. And without even thinking, and I am a totally go against the grain kind of guy, what do you think I did? I followed the path of like 200 people. Exit sign, exit sign. But we all are going out that door. Like 300 people trying to shove through the door, trying to, oh God, and it's almost this panic starts to go. Now one lady's like, oh, and all of a sudden there's like this, and then Arthur looks at me and says, why don't we go out either one of those two exits? I'm like, cool. We walk over, no line, we're out. Why is it that everybody walked out that exit? Why is that?
Herd mentality.
Herd mentality?
Following.
Anybody study that in psychology at college at one point, the herd mentality? What is that all about? What does the herd mentality mean? So in your own business, what if everyone believes that everybody who has just a little bit of discernment buys from you? Have you noticed this with some of your clients before where they buy from you because other people buy from you? No, I'm not asking you to volunteer the names because I know you guys are competitors, but all I'm saying is that. So the thing is we have to create our own stampede. Does that make sense? Okay, so on our site, I want to show you an overlay, and if you need help on this, I am not a web designer guy, but I just can kind of show you how to do it here. When you go to your site, what you're going to want to do is have a strong visual right away, right up here. So this is our site. We want to put a strong video right here, baby. Oh yeah. Okay? Strong video. Okay? Watch this video. This video is how long, guys?
36 seconds.
Yeah. Why? Because people are on their iPhones, they're on their smartphones, they're on that freaking phone I just bought that I can't turn off. Right? They're on that phone, they can't turn. Right? They're going on their phones. What percentage of internet searches are done now via phone? Anybody know? You think it's more than half? You know? It's a little more than half now. A little more than half. All different stats showing different amounts, but over half of all on the phone. Anybody here look for stuff so far on your trip here? Like a restaurant on your phone? Anybody did that last night? Yeah, crazy. We wouldn't have done that 10 years ago. We'd be looking through a phone book, right? Where's the phone book? And then we decided, no, the computer. Let's get to the hotel room, let's use our computer. Now we use the phone, okay? So people are on the phone, so it has to fit, let's look good on that little screen, right? Then up here, you have to have this thing called the sticky. Now, how many moms do we have in here? Moms? Moms, have you ever witnessed one of your children spilling something? Your husband walks by, acts like he didn't see it? I do this. I do this at least, yesterday I did it, but I usually do it once a week. My son spills orange juice, and I kind of do like a half cleanup, right? Kind of a half cleanup where it's kind of sticky still, you know, when you walk and it's, you know, my wife's like, honey, would you just clean it up? I'm like, oh, I didn't know I did. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Now, women inherently, when it's something sticky, they just clean it off right away. What they're saying, web developers have found on your site, is if you'll put something that's irresistible that people want right here, they will always, not always, the majority of the time they will do whatever this thing is if they feel like the value offering is good enough. Okay? So if you can register today, right? So you've got your name, your number, and you can register for a quote and a chance to get 15% off, or register for a free security assessment, or register for anybody here do that recently? Register for something to get something? Come on, we've all done it. You get those emails now from somebody, right?
Did it right here.
You did it right? Okay. Yeah, we all do it. And that's the big thing is you want something in exchange for something. So you have to offer content in exchange for contact information. Does that make sense? Because if not, they're going to go to your site and bounce. Does that make sense? Are we all on the same page? Okay. Now, above the top here, because of the way, anybody here dominant right now in Google? You're top in Google? You do well in that? Like all my companies, that's one of the things we do really well. We're top in Google. So if you type in Tulsa haircuts, you know, we're right there. You type in Tulsa cakes, we're right there. Tulsa whatever. Okay?